Hey, here's an exercise that may help you find the chord tones in a blues in this area of the fretboard. We're also going to use two concepts from the world of jazz called enclosures and chromatic passing notes. Check this out. Hey, how's it going? I'm Robert from Master Guitar Academy. Today, I'm going to talk about chord tones when you play the blues and show you a couple of ideas. And hey, did you know that you can support my work here on YouTube by becoming a channel member? Then you get jam track, tablature, and notation for this lesson and many others. And today, I'm using this pick. It's called the Chicken Picker from V-Picks. It sits really well in the hand, and I like the feel and the sound of it. Here's what it looks like up close. I hope you can see it. Check them out, vpicks.com. So first of all, let's say we play a blues in A. So the chord tones for the A7 chord are root note, major third, fifth, flat 7. And then it repeats. And we have root note up here too. Now I could actually use just those 4 notes to play a blues lick. Something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. But it's kind of boring, right? We need to do something more. So the first thing we can do is to play, and this is called chromatic enclosure, where we surround a target chord tone with a note from a half step above and a half step below. So what I did now was to approach that target note, which is this one. That's the first note that I play in this lick. That is the major third. So I'm approaching that note from first a half step above, then a half step below. Like so. And then it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to get to the 4 chords soon too. But what do you think? That sounded better, right? So that's a good start, but we can do even more. We can play this. This is called a chromatic passing tone, where this one extra note fills the gap between 2 chord tones that are a major second apart. So now I think of it as a chromatic passing note, going from root note to the flat 7. So we have, starts sounding jazzy, right? Because we have these half step approach notes. Remember, we started with these 4 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. But we added first those 2 and then that note as a passing note. So those 4 notes have not changed at all. We have just added some fun to them, namely 3 notes. And right, but in context it sounds cool. Now let's relate that to the chord. A7. You should try and see the chord or the chord tones when you play this line. If you think about the caged system, if you know it, we have this E shape. Then we move it up here and bar with the index finger, we get the A major chord. Right? Then if you lift up the pinky, we get the flat 7. That makes it an A7 chord. Becomes. And look at that chord now. Remove the low A string. Remove the A string. And realize you have the root note here too. There you can see the chord tones in, right? Okay, so one more time for the one chord, A7. But what happens when we go to the 4 chord, D7? Well, it turns out we can play that exact same line in the same area on the fretboard. But we're going to switch strings and play it this way. And look at the D7 bar chord. We have it right there. So I hope you can see the chord in this line as you play it. Try to look for that, which is part of the chord, right? And of course, now you have the same thing happening for the 5 chord, E7. And of course, you could play that same way we did for A7. If you don't want to switch the strings, you can play the exact same thing, just move it up, like this. And that's fine and dandy, but you also want to be able to do it in the same area of the fretboard without moving your hand so far. Like so. All right. Now let's take a look at how we can use this approach to play through 12-bar blues in a practice form. I'm going to play this same approach that I showed you, but longer lines. But the ideas are exactly the same. And it's not going to be a great solo per se, but it's a great way to learn the fretboard and to learn where these chord tones are for each of the chords in a blues. Let's check it out. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think by adding a comment, and maybe a thumbs up if I deserve it. And hey, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss anything. Alright, thanks again my friend. Stay healthy, and I'll see you soon.